Hey, Craig. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Let me cut this music off. And we get started. All right. Good evening, y'all. Um, this is our sixth episode. Am I right on that one, Craig? Do you remember?
I believe so.
Nope. I'm sorry. Nope.
Time is
I
flying
believe
by.
it is, man. I've got it listed as episode five again, and I apologize. Because we got off track with the technical difficulties and everything, and I know that that's on me. But we're here. Hey, and guess what? I think we saw a glimpse of what um, people kind of expected from the Tigers this past weekend. What do you
Oh, it's definitely Clemson football, finally.
think? Yeah. Um, Now, and as we've been doing, over the weeks since we started this thing, let's start off with, of course, how you doing? Hope you're having a good week.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. Great. How about yourself?
Same here. I think both of us are battling a little bit of being under the weather, but we're gonna power
Yeah,
through and um
that's right.
and, and talk some Clemson football, man. Um, I actually can now say that I have been to four. Oh, excuse me, two of the four Tobacco Road schools in the ACC for football games. So
Awesome.
I was happy about that. My cousin, my cousin and I, we've always stuck together with a lot of things and everything. You know, biggest thing that we've been able to say we've done is we saw, an ACC championship game for the first time ever live last year, and I got to admit that was probably one of the best ones I think I've ever seen. Period. But needless to say, um, you know, it's amazing to me um, the way that stadium is set up. It's kind of like it's old school, and they just renovated it recently, and it's still, you know how when you go to Death Valley, you can go out to the concession stands. You can see everything's going on the TV screens up there, beside the concession stands, and you can keep up with everything. You can hear it throughout the
Yep.
stadium and everything. Not up there, man. You might can hear it on the public address announcer talking, but no TVs yet, none of that stuff, man. Um, and I told my cousin, I said, I'll bet you money if you walk into Dean Dome, there are TVs everywhere.
Yeah,
So
that's right. That's that's because North Carolina's a basketball school.
they definitely are. Look, when we parked in and had to ride a bus from where we parked at to the stadium, and the lady got on the bus and she said, all right, the first question I need to ask y'all is, are y'all planning on staying for the blue and white game after the football game? And we were like, oh no, no, we're not. And she's like, okay, well that saves me a speech. But yeah, they honestly, Craig, I'll be honest. I'm just gonna be straight up honest with you. I have been to football games in high school that seem to have more fans, more home fans than they had for that game
Yeah,
Saturday. And I hate it because it's just not it's not an environment that you want to see in October. You know what I'm saying?
yep,
Stadium was great. Fans were very very nice. Very hospitable. I told you earlier that I've been to two of the four. The other one is Wake Forest. I've been to Wake Forest twice, and I love going there, man. That place is
yep.
just awesome. Uh,
I've
but
been there too. Yep.
eh, you know, um, it's just it's unique to get to go to different stadiums and then see what you've got compared to what they have. I guess is the thing that I've looked at all over the years. So, um, I you tell me what impressed you the most Saturday?
Gosh, the consistency of Cade Klubnik. I mean, there's a lot of things, but there's a lot of
Yep.
positives. I think Cade was 22 of 24 on his passing. Um, Antonio Williams beat him though. He was 1 for 1.
Hey, I'm telling you, bro. Antonio, somebody sent a stat to me the other day or yesterday or late last night that that it was. I mean, he's like an awesome quarterback, man.
Yeah, I tell you, he man, look here, that one play set the tone for the game, and man, look here, that tight end, I can't ever pronounce his name,
Yeah,
Bentancur or whatever.
yeah,
Man,
that,
it was his
that is,
coming out party.
yeah,
Um, man, I was so excited for him. He got 2 tutties. I mean, that was awesome. Um, but I will say this. I mean, I'm telling you some things that, um, that I thought really impressed me. Number one, Tom Allen on the sidelines, out of the box.
look, and I'll be honest with you, that part. I mean, everybody that I've talked to has been, adamant about wanting him on the sidelines, and I get it. That part really hadn't really bothered me too much. I was happy to see some of the fire that because I came home last night and watched some of the game after I got home, of course, on TV, and it was fun to see him. When they showed him a couple times on the sidelines with the fire he's got. Um,
Yep.
I'm gonna ask you: is my volume better now, or is it still about the same?
Yeah. Yeah. That's good, man.
All right. Um, so you know, for me, the thing that I was impressed with the most um, was that, like you said, the consistency. All right, and we honestly, it almost felt like we had the fire from the beginning, and we never let go of it. You know what I'm saying? Um, and I heard a lot of people talk about, you how Cade should have stayed in for through the third quarter. We're not, and I'm like, man, look here. I told my cousin, just be straight up honest. All right, that he kept talking about games not over. I said, Wayne, this ball game has been over since the first quarter. This was like
Oh
about
yeah.
2 minutes into the second quarter. I told him, I said, this game's over. I mean, there's just the fight in North Carolina was you could see it was gone. And I don't want to take anything away from Clemson. I mean, now I will say this, and I've had several people that have agreed with me since. I don't think we saw the I don't think we saw Clemson play yet to the ability that they're able to.
Not yet.
Um, I don't believe that. Well, and just being straight up honest, North Carolina. I feel like Troy would beat North Carolina, um, probably by 20 points.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
um, and but at the same time, we didn't see the Clemson team that we saw the last two games where we would, well, except for one drive. There was one drive where we were at the goal line, and the next thing you know, we're first and 40. All right, because of stupid mistakes, and and we shot ourselves in the foot on that one. Okay, but the things that we've seen for the last 2 weeks, where we let one mistake turn into 15 mistakes, we didn't see that Saturday, and I was impressed with that. So, um,
Absolutely. The defense, man, they played great in that first half. I mean, I know
yeah,
we started substituting a lot after that, but we,
yeah,
like you said, this is a glimpse of what we're capable of. I'm with you. We finally acted like we're playing with a purpose.
exactly. It only took us, being down, 1-3 to get it started. But um, I I was listening to the post game show. Well, no, excuse me, it was during the TV. We left probably about, I guess, just a few minutes left in the game. Um, and for me, that's saying something because I don't usually leave until game's over. But at an away stadium and not knowing how I'm going to get out of here and stuff like that, you know, like I said, game's over. But I was listening on the way from the stadium to the car. They were talking on the television broadcast, and I thought they brought up something really interesting. Said that Dabo stated that he remembered when he was on the staff at Alabama, and they got down 0-3. They began the season 0-3, and honestly, I know the coach's name, and I can't say it right now. It was his mentor. Um, he watched him go back and reinvent his team, both physically and mentally, and had them back near the end of the season challenging for the conference championship. And that may be what you're seeing here, because they were talking about how Dabo is in that position right now.
Yep.
Um, you know, we'll see. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of this season plays out. I don't believe that we'll see. Um, I don't think you can judge Clemson on on this week's game, the Boston College game, or the first four games. Does that make sense?
Yep.
That's my. I mean, because I don't think you've seen, in either of those scenarios what we're hoping to see yet. So, all right, how about you tell me what do you think the rest of the season looks like? How you
Well, I
looking?
tell
How you
you,
feeling now?
I watched Florida State and Miami last night, and you know, Florida State was one team that I thought might give us a fit, but I don't think so now. I mean, we'll be competitive with them now. Hey, this game Saturday, I think, is a good starting point for the rest of the season. It sets the tone for what we're capable of. We're only going to get better.
Yeah,
I mean, they're only going to get better. Hey, win out.
that's
There's
right.
there's a higher percentage of win out than not.
That's right.
If we keep playing and improving from from yesterday,
That's right.
sky's the
Now,
limit.
yeah, exactly. I mean, we both know that we pretty much said last week is pretty much up from here. So and Saturday was a good start. Um, yeah, like I said earlier, I know that North Carolina is not good. I think they've been kind of shocked at how bad they really are. Um, but at the same time, that's the same stuff that Dabo Sweeney championship teams, handle business against teams like that, and that's what I was impressed to see. We didn't let them hang around.
Oh, that's
So,
right. We put them away.
uh
We put
yep,
that's. I mean, that's what we're used to seeing from these Clemson football teams. And yet we're spoiled, but that is what we're used to seeing. Putting them away in the first quarter, midway through the second quarter, play your second, third team, let them get valuable experience. And that's how Dabo has built his program. That's why he hasn't had to use the transfer portal,
yep.
because we have been good enough to where we put them away, and these second, third stringers get lots of experience and get that playing time.
And I believe that's one of the things that's hurt not just this year, but leading up to this year. You got to think about it. Over the last couple of years, he hasn't been able to play those backup players. You know what I'm saying? A lot because the starters were having to fight it out and try to get a win. You know,
Yeah.
uh, and people don't think about stuff like that, but you know, I guess my next question too then would be, um, we got to see a little bit of Vizina in the second half. I I'll be honest with you, I felt like we had gone vanilla by the time that, in other words, by the time he came in, it was more clock management to me than it was.
Yep.
But at the same time, I saw him miss some receivers that were wide open too. It makes me
Oh yeah.
wonder, going forward, what we're looking at. What about you? What do you think?
Yep. Like you said, vanilla, and we had a lot of second team in there, and I think North Carolina still had a lot of their first team in. But it was a good experience for Vizina. I mean, he didn't look awful. Um,
No.
you know, he's he's going to get that experience as the season rolls on. I just hope they keep playing him. I hope we're ahead like this so we
Yeah.
can play.
Oh yeah. Well, I saw where we've opened up as 12.5 point favorites against Boston College. Um, and I don't know. I feel like that. I don't know. That seems kind of um. I don't want to say it. It seems fair. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? Um, I do believe that we could walk in there and blow them out, but at the same time, I also know that I felt the same way about Troy.
yeah, true,
Uh,
true. Um,
uh,
it'll be a good game. Hey, I am. What's the word I'm looking for? I have a lot of positivity going in that, but cautiously optimistic.
you, I was about to ask you if that's what you were going for.
Yep,
That's
cautiously
what
optimistic.
that's me. I mean, you know, it. As far as defense, we've already talked about Tom Allen being on the sidelines. Um, Anything else that stuck out at you that
Man,
you thought?
well, I was looking. I love my stats. Um, 20, 23, 24 defensive players had at least a tackle in that game, and that's a lot of guys playing, which is great. Um, hey, we heard several times. Um, gosh, Jaheim Lawson. I heard, you know, Jaheim Lawson is setting the edge. We haven't seen that. Um,
Uh,
a lot of great things going on defensively. The front, our defensive front played great. I thought they held their own.
oh yeah.
Peter Woods was all over the place in the beginning.
Uh-huh.
Sammy Brown was in there a pretty good bit. We're starting to hear these names that we've been looking to hear a lot more.
Well, I can tell you, being live and watching it live, you could tell that they had no answer for our front line.
Yeah,
Um, and the reason you could tell it was, I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I am not a fond one of the bubble screen that we have seemed to have adopted as our go-to play. Okay, but North Carolina was using the bubble screen on like third and 20. I mean, because they couldn't. They knew there was no way they were going to get 20 yards. Okay,
yeah,
I mean, and that was obvious. And it was obvious all day long. That there just wasn't. There was no way that they could hold us.
yep.
In the backfield. So that.
Um, and I'll tell you another thing, Freddie. I really like the play calls on both sides of the game, both sides of the ball.
Yep.
I think that we kind of open up the playbook a little bit more.
Yep. I'm gonna steal one from a post that the Clemson Sports Network put out there earlier today, and I don't know if I think I sent it to you earlier, but the number 5 for North Carolina on the sidelines when T.J. Moore comes by him on that first play, and he just got this look like, you
Yep.
know, I mean it was, and honestly, it where I was sitting at, I was sitting on the visitor sidelines. If you're looking out from the stadium to the right down, right near the 10-yard line, and so that play developed right in front of me. And as soon as I saw it, I'm like, it's a pass, it's a pass. And I mean, you could have asked for a more perfect play to begin a game. I mean, it
Yep.
just and I mean that was a beauty. It
It
really
was.
was.
Hey, everybody did their job.
Yep.
We've talked
Exactly.
about this in our previous podcast.
Yep.
Everybody did what they were supposed to do, and look what happened.
Yep. You're right. I mean, it just it,
Execution, execution. That's what it's all about.
well, and that's the thing I've always loved about football, especially. It's you got 11 players on both sides, and if you got one player that's having to play for two other players besides himself, or thinks he does, that's good. It's gonna cause dangerous outcomes in most instances.
Yep.
Very seldom do you have, like, all right, for instance, basketball. I mean, you and I grew up watching Michael Jordan, and we both know that Michael Jordan single handedly could win a basketball game. Okay,
Yep.
um, he could take the game over for spurts, and you know, I just don't. I don't believe that football is built that way.
Yeah.
Um, and that's the thing. Like you said, you know, if everybody does their job, I mean, you know, teamwork makes the dream work.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
so
That's they executed just like they drew it up on the chalkboard.
yep, exactly right.
Yep.
You hit the nail on the head there. All right, so like I said, we're going into Boston College. We're a 12.5 point favorite. The key in my mind going in is making sure that we keep the momentum that we build on. You want to springboard onto this.
Yep.
So, what do you think? I mean, what do you hope to see against Boston College that maybe we didn't get to see as much of against North Carolina? I know we're happy, we're great. Everything's great right now. Winning solves everything, but
Yep.
you
Well,
know,
I know that you you take what they give you. Um, Against North Carolina yesterday, we didn't run the ball a bunch because we didn't need to. So what they did was they got Adam Randall out in space and threw him the ball.
yep,
you know,
yep, exactly.
and that's what I mean. I like the play calling, their game plan on this. They
Oh,
but I have a feeling we're going to come out because BC has always been a very physical football team. Um, I think we're going to get up and establish a run, um, and then Cade will throw it all over the field, and it'll be. I hate to say it, no disrespect to Boston College. I think they've won one football game this year.
yeah.
Um, they're not a very good football team either, so it should be much of the same as yesterday.
Well, I'm gonna throw something out there at you. You were talking about stats. I know you love stats. All right, Cade Klubnik. Um, in the first half this past weekend, he went 22 of 24 for 254 yards and 4 touchdowns. Now, you know that's great. I mean, I'm happy to see it. Let's add something to that. Okay, he became only the second quarterback in college or NFL to ever throw 4 touchdown passes in a single half against a team led by Bill Belichick.
I know, right?
I mean,
Hey,
you know,
and
this
I'm
is
gonna tell you
what we
this.
hope for.
That's and that's what that says something. But I guarantee you, well, I better not say guarantee you, but I bet old Coach Sweeney took his foot off the gas a little bit because you don't want to make old Bill Belichick mad because he'll be there for a while and he'll remember. And he's a
Yeah.
defensive guy. You know that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And you notice like I do, if he gets a chance, he's gonna do whatever he's got to do to
That's right.
pay back. I mean that's coaching, man. That's that's football.
That's
It's
right.
under, um I'm gonna throw something else out there at you that we've talked about how bad we started. Okay, all right, but to keep things a little bit more in perspective about football as a whole. All right, Penn State, Texas, we were three of the four that in the preseason were the top four for the
Yep.
playoffs. None of the three of us are in the top 25 right now. So,
Well,
you know,
that's what college football is now because of the transfer portal and NIL. Look here, Miami is a beast. I don't know
oh
if you
yeah,
saw that game last night. Miami is good.
oh yeah. I
And
mean,
we knew they were going to be good, but not that good. They were really
all
a
right.
good football team.
Well, I'm gonna go a step further. What about Duke?
Duke also.
I mean, California was up like
I mean,
21-7 or 24-7, and they come back and pretty much blow them out the stadium. I mean, I didn't watch. I saw that part. Found out this morning that they had won big, and I'm like, really? So, yeah. another prime example of the transfer portal because that's
Yeah.
what those two teams are built on. That's how
Look
they've been built.
and look at
So,
Virginia.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
I
I,
just pulled it up. This is your top in the ACC. Virginia, Duke, Georgia Tech, and Miami are your top four ACC teams.
uh, yeah. I mean, hey, eh, it's
My,
worked for 'em, you know. And look, I am so happy for for Tony Elliott. I am
me too.
loving it for him because you got keep in mind this time last year, a number of their fans were ready to ship him off and never look back.
Yep.
You know, so you know that's the
He's
thing you love about college football, man.
yep, he's doing his thing now, and I'm happy for him.
I
Uh,
am too.
I
I am
really
too.
am. But I'm also I'm let me think of the word that I'm looking for here. I've anticipated the start of the football season since we lost to Texas in the playoffs. Finally got here. Of course, we've all been very disappointed for the first month of Clemson football, but I am, hey, I'm back on fire again. I'm
Well,
looking forward to it more than what I was a week
and,
ago.
and you might disagree. I don't know. For me, it's amazing, and I was saying this even before the season started, that it amazes me how we wait, and it seems like forever for football season to get here, and then almost as soon as it starts, we're at the ACC and SEC championship games, we're into the playoffs, we're into the bowl games, and then boom, it's gone, and I'm like,
Yep,
where did the season go? You know, um, and it seems to always be that way. Um, you know, we wait for so long and then we don't really get to enjoy what we had while it was going on.
that's
That
right.
makes
And
and
and just to capitalize on your point there, Freddie,
mhm,
this Saturday is going to mark our sixth football game of the season, which
yep,
is half the season
yep,
already. That fast.
exactly, exactly right, man. Um, it just it amazes me the way time flies. And I had an older gentleman tell me years ago, very wise gentleman tell me, said, you know, the older you get, the faster time flies.
Yep,
But you've got to take time to take a deep breath and breathe in what's going on around
that's
you.
right.
And you know
Enjoy it.
that's right. And that's what I would tell most Clemson fans. Like you said before, and we've said it over and over again in these podcasts. You know, we've been spoiled. We've seen the tops of the mountain. We've been to the top of the mountain. Um, you and I've seen what the results are at the top of the mountain three times.
That's
Um, some of our younger fans have only seen it twice, and I get it. I do. But at the same time, you and I lived through the firing of Danny Ford, which was, in my opinion, the worst mistake that Clemson football could, Clemson athletics could have ever done.
yeah.
And I'll be honest with you. I feel like that when things are done in the wrong way, you suffer for it as a fan base. And let me tell you what I mean by that. All right, when Tennessee fired Philip Fulmer, look at what it took for them to get back on pace from where he was at before they got rid of him. All
Yep.
right, Bobby Bowden. All right, I mean, we're talking about two greats. Okay, same thing. I feel like the same thing probably happened to us with Danny Ford. We went into seasons where nobody thought we would ever be heard of again on the college football landscape.
That's right.
Until Dabo walks in and has got us where he's gotten us to.
Yep.
So um, that's
Well, in the history with Clemson football in our lifetime, especially my lifetime, we weren't that great until Charlie Pell came around, and he kind of set the tone. Of course, he took off to Florida, and then when Charlie Pell left, that's when Danny Ford comes in, and Danny Ford is what really changed things around for Clemson. And of
Uh-huh.
course, here comes Ken Hatfield, and then behind that, Tommy West. And then after that, Tommy Bowden. And I've been a big Tommy Bowden fan. And one of the reasons I want to go to this, because you're talking about our history, was,
Uh-huh.
I said that we didn't have any, I said we haven't had a coach that has leaned on character and faith until Dabo, but I was wrong because Tommy Bowden was the same way. Um, I think that Tommy Bowden is the one that set the table for Dabo.
You're right.
I got to give him that credit because
Uh-huh.
we weren't awful under Coach Bowden. We had some pretty good football teams for whatever reason, couldn't get it together, but he set the table for Coach Sweeney, and Coach Sweeney has taken it and run with it. And we have lost 3 games this year, but guess what? Don't count us out. Don't
Well,
count
I
us out.
mean, Coach Bowden, Coach Bowden could get us to that mountaintop, and you could see it. I will never forget um, Ryan Leaf playing for Boston College. They were not great. Okay, they were coming to Death Valley, and last ACC game of the year, Clemson wins. We go to the ACC championship. All right, and they already had us penciled in, and
Yep.
we throw up. I mean, I'm there. I mean, it's freezing cold in Death Valley, and I'm sitting there, and I watch Ryan Lee snatch my heart out. You know, I mean,
Yep.
we couldn't stop him. I want to say it was Horn. I want to say it was
Come
Horn.
on.
It had a chance, and the ball hits him in the hands, and he drops. If he catches it, we win the ball game.
Yep.
Simple. I mean, you know, Um, that's that's how I feel. I've always felt about Coach Bowden. Um, and I'm like you. I was a huge fan. Yep. Met him several times. I love hearing him talk. Um, and just being honest,
Well, you
that
know,
Dabo is a younger version of it, in my opinion.
he is. He really is. Um, Coach Bowden was 72 and 45 at Clemson. Not horrible.
No,
Um, just
no,
couldn't, like you said, just couldn't get over the hump. You know,
that's right.
but he set the table for Coach
Mhm.
Sweeney, and
That's right.
and that's why we're where we are today.
Yep. I and speaking on history again, I'm I'm gonna go back to we've talked about how things have gone this year and how things have started out, and Dabo has made a comment that some of these players buy into the rat poison.
Yep.
And I told you earlier that I met Coach Ford just before the season started and everything. Again, I've met him several times, but we went up and met with him and got some stuff for autographs and stuff. And I asked him, I said, "What do you think, Coach?" He said, "Well, the thing that I don't like is all the talk." And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, I used to try to not let my players hear all the talk." Now think about this thing for a minute. He was there in the '80s. Okay, okay. Could you imagine trying to keep his players from hearing the media and the social media and all of that now? Think about that for a minute. I mean, he said it was a hard thing back then. I couldn't imagine him trying to maneuver or wade through that minefield now.
Oh, I know.
And I could only imagine some of the conversations or some of the quotes that would be, screenshot and videoed and posted from Coach Ford himself. So I do
Yes.
believe I do believe that's one place that Dabo is a little bit different than him. There are a lot of like in a lot of ways, but I believe Dabo, Coach Ford didn't care what he said. I mean, he's always, he tells you what he thinks, and that's the way it is. And
That's right.
Dabo does it to an extent, but I think Dabo also, can has more control over what the media gets, if that makes sense. So,
But
all
I'm
right.
I want to throw something out at you real quick since we're talking about this.
Okay.
Since 2011, since the 2011 season, guess how many seasons we have had under 10 wins? Since 2011 now,
11.
we have only had one season that we have not had 10 wins. And that was last year. Well, year before last, excuse me, 2 years back. That's a pretty good track record.
Oh, yeah.
Winning 10 or more. Hey, 2011, 10-4, 2012, 11-2, 13, 11-2, 14, 10-3, 15, 14-1, 16, 14-1, 17, 12-2, 18, 15-0, 19, 14-1, 20, 10-2, 21, 10-3, 22, 11-3, 23, 9-4, and 24, 10-4. That's strong. And I will point out, we started having a little bit of trouble after COVID.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's a good track record.
I totally agree.
That's why I have full confidence that Coach Sweeney is going to right the ship. And, hey, we're going to end on a great note this season. We're going to end up with a great season, and next year, watch out.
Okay. All right. So we are running a little bit over. So to finish this up,
Always.
What? Give me your prediction for this weekend.
The same as this past, same as yesterday. Easy. Same as yesterday. Hey,
all right.
Just come out with a purpose, which is what we did Saturday. Play with purpose, be consistent, and do your job. Everything's going to work out. And I hope Tom Allen's going to be back on the sidelines. Hey,
I'm expecting that.
And I want to tell you why I'm so big on that. After seeing the defenses that Brent Venables has brought to Clemson, and seeing his fire on the sidelines, and watching how his fire translated to the players, and I think that's what these young kids, and I say kids, but I mean they're grown men, but I think they feed off of that. They feed off of their coach, not just calling the plays, but his fire and his what's the word I'm looking? His passion.
Yeah.
And I think we saw that. And it was Coach Allen's idea to get down onto the field, which that's a good coach. That's a good coach.
Oh, yeah. And I have no issues with it whatsoever. All right. So what do you think the final score will be?
What's that?
What do you think? What's your final score going to be?
45-10.
Okay.
That just popped in my head. Look here. I think we're going to see Clemson's offense roll, and I think we're going to see Clemson's defense roll. I think we're going to start. We're playing Clemson football now, and I think they like it. And all we needed was just one big win like this to be able to continue the season and play that Clemson football.
Well,
what you think?
Well, it's sad because you just took my score. That was exactly the score I was going with. I'm serious, 45-10. I was a little bit off on mine this past weekend. I think I did 40. It was either 41 or 45-14 or something like that.
Yeah.
I was a little bit off. I'm hoping to see the defense take another step forward. Tackle a little bit better against Boston College, and I believe, like you said earlier, they're going to want to be physical. Well, I think Clemson is going to come in and go, you know what, we're going to out physical your physical, and that's what I'm expecting to see, and so I do believe that.
Yep.
I don't want to say that it's going to be over like the North Carolina game was. You don't say it right off the bat. I believe they may hang in there a little bit longer than North Carolina did. But I do see us pulling away. And hopefully getting some backups in the second half.
That's right. Get that experience rolling.
Yep.
Hey, yesterday was our wake up game, so
Okay. Okay. Well, as we always tell you, y'all, this is Tiger Talk with some Clemson gentlemen. Craig and I love spending time with you on Sunday evenings around 7 o'clock every Sunday. And we hope that if you like this, you'll go to our Facebook page and like it. Also go to our YouTube page. It's same title. It's not hard to hard to find. Um, like and share it. You know, subscribe to the channel. The more you subscribe, the better it, or the more it helps us. Also, if you got a question, if you got something you want us to talk about, um, you can hit us up on the, you can message us, you can text us, whatever you want to do to let us know what you want us to talk about. Okay.
that's,
Well, of course it's going to be Clemson athletics, but I mean that could be a given. But
that's right.
until next weekend, when we're hopefully sitting here having a fun time talking about another win. As always, y'all go Tigers.
Go Tigers. Woo! Hey.